Hi, I'm Steve Rose. I've been a chef for 38 years, was the owner of the greenest restaurant in the entire San Francisco Bay Area, and now I'm a farmer here at Rose Ranch. We do things green around here. What sets me apart is that green is not just a buzzword like a lot of people use. Green is an operative word, and it really is easy to do. I'm going to share with you my secrets on how to do this at home. We're going to have fun, and living green, living truly green, is really a blast. I believe that people want to learn how to live this way, they just don't know how to go about it. And that's the whole purpose of the show, is to teach people how to do it. I'm going to show you the way, show you the pathway to green living. Welcome to the Organic Rose. Today, I'm at Redwood Empire Food Bank, and we're going to learn all about what these awesome, wonderful volunteers do. So come on in. So Helen, what are your job responsibilities here at the Redwood Empire Food Bank?
Here at the Redwood Empire Food Bank, I am the volunteer coordinator. So my role mainly consists of introducing new volunteers to our facility and also helping volunteers who have been with us for a while get placed in the volunteer position that fits their schedule and their interests and their passions.
How many volunteers actually work here?
We have here at the Redwood Empire Food Bank about 8,000 volunteers annually.
8,000?
Yeah. Here at our main facility, there's about 7,000, and then out at food distribution sites, we have about 1,000 volunteers.
And where are the other food distribution sites at?
We operate all over Sonoma County here, and then also in 4 other counties all the way up to the Oregon border. So we have food distribution sites in all 5 of those counties.
What's your typical workday like?
Well, I arrive here at 7:30 in the morning. Our first volunteer shift doesn't start until 9 though, so most of my morning is spent answering emails, making sure that we're on schedule for the day, and then right around 9 o'clock is when kind of all the action starts. So volunteers start checking in for the warehouse, for the kitchen, at the front desk, and I'm able to help volunteers a lot of traffic control, helping people get checked in and to where they need to be. So that's kind of how the beginning of my day starts.
So what are some of those positions that volunteers would do?
Yeah, so here at the food bank, a lot of volunteers, our biggest body of volunteers help us in the warehouse repackaging food. We receive a lot of, we redistribute about 15 million pounds of food every single year.
Wow.
And so we always need more volunteers to help us repackage that food. Volunteers help us here in our kitchen collective with Chef Don, supporting him to prep meals that will then be redistributed to families and seniors in need. Volunteers help us at the front desk. Volunteers help us out at distribution sites. So volunteers are very much embedded in our operation here.
So Penny, why are you here at the food bank?
I've been a volunteer here at the food bank for almost 10 years. I came here because I have a long history. All my adult life I've been a volunteer in various communities, and I think it's a great place. Volunteering is a great way to involve yourself in a community, meet new people, learn more about what your community is like and who's living there and what their situations are. Here I have a passion for the food and think that people have a right to eat the great foods that we have here in Sonoma County, no matter what their economic situation. So again, if you have a passion for it, it's a well-run organization. It allows you to meet lots of people in the community, both as clients of the organization, but also as co-volunteers. Those are the things that make it a successful volunteer opportunity for me.
So Janice, what do you get out of volunteering, and why do you keep coming back?
I like what I'm doing.
Okay.
I like being able to come and give back. I would like to see more people do that, at least more people within my environment. There's another reason also. I feel that we are commissioned to give, to serve our communities, to serve our neighborhoods. And the other 2 ladies that I come with and my granddaughter, we actually represent 2 different churches.
Oh, very nice. I was one of the volunteers in the kitchen. I asked her, or I was interviewing one of the volunteers, and I said, "Why do you volunteer?" And the woman said, why wouldn't you volunteer?
Right, I agree.
And it makes so much sense, right? Chef, why do you do what you do here?
I enjoy my job that I do here. We're able to put together food for people in need. I work together with volunteers, and we use donated food to produce these meals.
Tell me about the Heat and Eat meals that you're preparing, especially the ones that you're preparing today.
The Kitchen Collective produces meals. We put them in a disposable container or recyclable container that is sealed. We put the ingredients on there. People are able to warm up the meals in their microwave or in their ovens. It's a nice convenience for people, and it facilitates their lives. Many of our meals go to seniors who have a nice nutritious meal that they can put together real quickly.
This is a great kitchen. I mean, I love it. It's like so mellow in here, and
I
big and
have
spacious.
about 60 volunteers that rotate in and out. They work 2-hour shifts. Our volunteers are skill-based volunteers, and so we give them sanitation training, knife skills, cooking skills, and they come on a regular basis. So our volunteers come once a week, and they've created a nice community amongst themselves.
How many meals do you prepare on the average every day?
Today we are preparing about 250 meals. We do around 1,000 meals per week in the Kitchen Collective.
And bringing more nutrition to their table, to their family.
Absolutely. We that's one of our big assets here, is being able to bring a little bit of extra vitamins and minerals to everyone.
That people normally wouldn't get.
The good part is these are all raw, natural ingredients. We don't add any preservatives, nothing else to expand, the product. They're going to get just, pure and natural. Our meals are, turned over within usually a week. They're very fresh when people receive them.
Why do you volunteer here?
It makes me feel better to know that I'm helping people that are less fortunate than myself. I was a fireman for 31 years, so I was always helping people, and I just wanted to continue that in my, if you will, golden years.
How many days a week do you show up, and how many hours a week is your commitment here?
Well, right now, during the summer, I come 1 day a week in the morning, Tuesday mornings. What's nice about the food bank, they're not looking at you to spend all day or all week there. They want you to spend as much time as that you're comfortable with, and then you want to come back more rather than feel it's not a job. So chef, he looks at what he has available, and then he makes up what he's going to make that day.
What a great thing.
Very creative.
So those are more like Heat and Eat kind of meals?
Yes, they are. They do for individuals. They do some family size. There's a lot of people that, if it wasn't for those meals, they wouldn't have anything nutritious to eat. And that's part of what this is all about. In a county that's as wealthy as we are, there are way too many people going hungry. So the food bank helps fill that need. And you're right, this is no pressure. You get to know each other, you have a little fun while you're working, you do your job, and every day that I work here, when I walk out, I feel like I've accomplished something and I've helped people.
That is one cool cat. We're here today at the Sonoma Humane Society, and we are going to learn everything there is to know about adopting dogs and cats and rabbits and all kinds of animals. Incredible volunteers that put so many hours every weekend of their lives into this beautiful and very effective shelter. So come check it out with me. We are here at the most beautiful Sonoma County Humane Society building, and I've got Cindy here with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about how this building, when it got built. When did it get built?
2004.
And how did the construction get funded?
Through the donations of over 5,500 individuals from this community.
Wow.
Yeah, and we always say that this is a testament to the heart of this community, because it was that driving factor. People wanted to see a better standard of care for animals, and that was the impetus behind this facility.
And how does it, obviously it costs money to fund this on a daily basis, even though you rely heavily on volunteers. How does that get funded? Where do
Through
those funds come
donations,
from?
yeah,
Okay.
through donations from our community, through estate gifts that have been left to the Sonoma Humane Society, through corporate contributions, through sponsorships, through every avenue you can possibly imagine that we would seek donations for. We seek donations. So it's about 55% of our operating budget comes specifically from donation income.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. And again, it's a testament to the compassion that lives in Sonoma County that really enables us to do the work that we do.
Tell me one thing that the public is probably not aware of when it comes to the Humane Society.
Probably that every humane society is independent, right? So a lot of people just assume that because we have the Humane Society name, that we are a part of and are supported by the Humane Society of the United States or the ASPCA, and that's not true. We're a completely independent organization, so we are locally founded back in 1931, and locally funded. So if you want your donation dollars to come to a local organization, always look for your local Humane Society.
So that way you can earmark that donation. It's not going to go into a national organization. You could earmark it for your community then.
Absolutely. So if you want your donation dollars to stay with local animals, always look for your local Humane Society or ASPCA.
So we're here with Nina, who's the volunteer program manager. Tell me about what your responsibilities are.
Well, we have a really awesome program for volunteering here. We have about 20 or a little more than 20 different departments that people can volunteer in. So I manage that program and get everyone in. On a monthly basis, we do orientations and a lot of trainings.
What's all involved as far as putting volunteers together and getting them trained? And I'm sure that's a lot of work.
It's a lot. We have a lot of training here because we do have usually around 200 animals. So at any point in time, there's around 200 animals in the shelter, so we do want to make sure everybody is safe and trained and knows what to do and how to handle the animals and give our best care. So on a monthly basis, I have orientations. I have around between 25 and 30 people per month who come in. And to be in this program, you have to be over 18, but under 18, we do have a youth program. And we have all ages. We have college students all the way up through retirees and seniors. So they come to my orientation and hear all about the entire shelter and everything we do here and the 20-something different ways they can get involved, and then they try to whittle it down to what's their most interested area that they want to be in, and then I send them to their different departments for specific training.
So what's the one thing that you would like our viewers to know about volunteering?
I think that I can say that when I've asked volunteers what motivates them and why they come back, the reason is because they come maybe because they want to help an animal, and then they get into it and they realize they're helping more than one animal, and then they start realizing they're helping people because people are attached to animals, and then they start realizing that they're helping our organization and it goes out into the community. So they become the pebble that starts a ripple, and it's very satisfying for them to know that they're part of that ripple effect that is goodness. And they come here to give, but then they start realizing that they're actually receiving, and so it's a cycle. So I think that for volunteering anywhere, no matter what it is that you're giving your heart and your compassion to, that you're going to be part of that. You're going to start that ripple or be somewhere in that ripple, and that's really important.
So I'm with Paul here, who's one of the dog walkers. What do you like best about your job?
Well, working with animals like Cooper. So I've been a volunteer dog walker here at the Humane Society for about 3 years. And I love the reaction I get from dogs when I walk in the habitat, getting ready to take them out for a walk. And although we do our very, very best to make sure they have the best life here, there's nothing like being outside with a human and getting all the attention and affection that they want and deserve. And the amazing thing about the Humane Society is that every single person, no matter what their role, absolutely cares so deeply about all the animals, and we want them to have the very best life possible. And we are really just here helping these animals during a short time between when they come in and when they find their forever families. And what's really cool is when you've been working with a dog for weeks or months, and all of a sudden you see them leave the building with their forever family, you realize that you've not only helped the dog, but you've helped the human as well. So we're just really a bridge between when they come in and when they leave with their family.
So what do you love, Paul, what do you love the best about your daily routine? here?
Well, I particularly love working with the dogs and even the more challenging dogs because dogs as a species are very complex, and then each individual dog is also a unique personality as well. And so you have to learn about dogs as a species, and you have to learn about that individual dog to determine what techniques and things will work for them.
Interesting.
You know, everybody comes into the Humane Society looking for the perfect dog, and the perfect dog is different for every person.
Right.
But I just like to say, having been a volunteer here for 3 years, is that dogs that are older, that have behavior issues or medical issues, they can be amazing companions. And so I'd like to encourage people to look beyond the surface and see if a dog that maybe has been at the Humane Society for a long time, whether a dog like that could be a good companion for them. Because no matter how good shelter life is, it doesn't compare to being in a home.
Right, right.
But we'd love more volunteers because there's always a place. And whether you're working with dogs or in cats or just helping around with office duties, everybody contributes to the mission here. So volunteering is hugely important. And it's such a great community at the Humane Society and our broader community that it's a wonderful place to volunteer.
I'm here to meet with my buddy Darren, who happens to be the fire chief at Kenwood Fire Protection District. We're going to talk about the inner workings of a local fire department. So come on, follow me. Hey, Chief.
Steve, good to see you.
Good to see you. Kenwood Fire Protection District.
Yes.
What is it all about?
Well, you know, we started in 1946. We a combination of volunteers and paid call firefighters. Our job is to protect the community.
So what are the calls that you get asked to go to attend?
Majority of our calls are medical related,
Okay.
EMS. We go to vehicle accidents, we go to structure fires, we go to wildland fires, hazardous incidents. Pretty much you call 911 and we'll show up.
How many people on the staff?
So right now we're up to 11 volunteers.
Okay.
We have 13 part-timers. And July 1st we'll be hiring 2 full-time captains. And me.
What will their responsibilities be?
The responsibilities, they'll be broken down into different things. Training, maintenance on the equipment, taking care of the core volunteers.
What does it cost, to run a rig like this? The truck's beautiful. What does one of these cost to buy?
Right now, the current cost for these is about $650,000 for an engine. And if you get a ladder truck, that's well over $1 million now.
That's crazy. And we as the public just take it for granted that, oh yeah, well there's a fire truck, there's another fire truck, there's another fire truck.
You're right.
That's crazy.
And usually the public, they don't care what color the fire truck is or who shows up at their door as long as someone shows up.
So how many, I don't know if it's figured in square miles or what, how much dirt does the fire protection district cover?
So we cover a total of 40 square miles, which is fairly large. We have 3 big parks that we cover, and then we have residential, and obviously the winery. We're in Sonoma County. We're on the corridor of Highway 12, and we're in the heart of the wine country. So we have some huge world famous wineries here.
What sets Kenwood Fire Protection District apart from San Francisco Fire Department?
Well, the size is one thing.
Okay.
The other thing is that a full-time professional fire department versus a fire protection district. So we don't have full-time staff. We will come July 1st. We're hiring 2 more captains, so we will have staffing 24 hours a day. Other than that, not too much. Smaller budget, obviously, than San Francisco.
Right.
But for the most part, we train the exact same way. We're the same standards, same criteria. So other than the staffing.
Describe a typical day in the firehouse.
So shift starts at 8 in the morning. Usually everyone gets here around 7:30. We have some coffee time, talk. Then usually by 8 o'clock, engine maintenance. Everything needs to be run on the engines, the pumps, fuel levels checked, lights checked. That usually takes about an hour right there to do all that, run all the equipment. Then they have the station cleaning. The restrooms need to be cleaned, offices need to be cleaned, dusting, the engine bays need to be mopped. there's always something to do.
I mean, the station is immaculate.
And then pretty much after that, we do our regular maintenance, we do the regular cleaning, we run calls in between that, we do reports, we go out and we do training, we do inspections to all the local businesses for life safety inspections. So every day it's just busy, busy, busy. The place is always open to the public, so at any time anybody off the street can just walk in, and they're more than welcome to, and we'll take them on a tour.
So tell me about the station here and what kind of equipment you have.
So first of all, the equipment, we have 2 of these, we call them Type 1 engines. They're pumpers, and they respond to vehicle accidents. They have extrication equipment on them, structure fires. We have 2 of these. We also have a water tender that holds 3,000 gallons of water. We do have hydrants around here, but they're sparse. We also have a light rescue, and we have what's called a Type 3 engine, and that's a brush truck or a wildland engine that we would take up in the wildland to put out a wildland fire. We also have the administrative offices, we have a training room, we have a beautiful kitchen that I'll show you later that is gorgeous. We have a day room.
And how many people in total actually run the department?
So
kind of give us like maybe a little bit of a day-to-day sketch on what you guys do.
So every day there's either me or a captain on duty plus a part-time firefighter. So the staffing levels will be anywhere between 2 and 3 personnel a day. And that's the minimum requirements that we would need to staff an engine, no less than that.
Okay. And is that mandated by the state or by the federal government?
That's actually by NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Agencies. Okay. We also have volunteers. We have a core of volunteers right now that are about 11. Back when the department was established in 1946, we only had 2 pieces of equipment, but we had 30 volunteers. And up to about 15 years ago, we were up to 30 volunteers. So that's changing drastically. So it's our job to make sure that we can get a piece of equipment on the road for the community to help them at any type of call at any hour.
Why do you run into a house that's burning while everybody's running out?
1, it's our job. And 2 is it takes a special person. It takes a special person to be able to want to run into something that everyone else is running out. And you have to have that drive. You have to want to do it. And it's doing it for as long as I have. It's an adrenaline rush. It's fun and it's scary. And
how do you pass that passion, because it is a passion of yours, right? How do you pass that on to explorers, young firefighters that are just coming into your program?
You know, from day one, we drive the brotherhood that we have. We drive how compassionate everyone is that's doing this job and taking the time to train them to do this job. And you know, it usually takes a year or so. If they don't get it by then, they may not be that type of person to do this job. But for the most part, they get it, and we really strive on our professionalism.
Why do you do what you do?
You know, I started off as a volunteer firefighter when I was 18 years old, and it was something I never experienced, and I loved it. I love helping people. I love coming back from a good call and having that feeling that, wow, I really made a difference. You know, I did something, and that's why I did it. Yeah.
So you enjoy it because you have an impact on the community.
I enjoy it because I have an impact on the community, and I enjoy it because I wake up every morning being satisfied that I'm going to work and I love my job.
So what do you see for the future for the Kenwood Fire Protection District?
Well, I think the future for us is always going to be trying to maintain and getting volunteer firefighters. We can't have the department without them. Even though that we have paid personnel, our budget's so small that it's very hard for us to expand from what we have right now. So the core thing is for us to maintain and always get volunteer firefighters.
So how do you go and get volunteer firefighters?
Well, you know, we have fundraisers. We have a crab feed that we do annually, and we try to get volunteers from there. We put ads in the local paper trying to get volunteers. The problem is that volunteer firefighter gets trained no different than a professional firefighter, and as far as what you need to be trained on. And the time frame, it's many, many hours. So to take someone to say, hey, come be a volunteer, but I need a year of your life, 2 or 3 days a week to train you, it's huge.
That's a huge commitment.
It's very huge, and it's hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Well, I want to thank you for this interview.
Oh, sure.
And what we do, we refer to it as kind of takeaway. I hope we've created a lot of takeaway for, you know, people that are watching the show. And
I hope so, yeah.
it's a great inside look to the fire department.
Thank you. Well, hey, anytime.
Thanks.
Thanks.